Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Wong from QI Group, and I'm one of the lucky few who have been given the unique opportunity to sit down and personally connect with our very own Executive Chairman, Dato Sri Vijay Eswaran. Okay, good afternoon, Dato Sri. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this series, and it's truly a pleasure and honor. If I may, I'd like to start with the first question. So the first question that I have is, do you think the reason why senior managers don't build meaningful and empathic relationships with their team members is because this may jeopardize their position of power in the organization?
It's a two-way street. I think the sword cuts both ways. It's pretty much, it comes to the territory. There is no one I know who has been able to successfully navigate themselves up the corporate ladder without actually going through this process. So from the viewpoint of the employee first, if you don't put your job on the line all the time, then the chances of you actually being able to go past, the barriers that are ahead of you will be very slim. Because if you're going to be constantly erring on the side of caution, saying, this could jeopardize my job, that could jeopardize my job, then, ultimately, you're more concerned about the security of your job than the vantage point of this job being your vocation. All right. You're not working in a bank. Security is not the most fundamental thing in a corporate ladder. If you are ever going to go beyond and talk about promotions and bonuses and eventually becoming something more than you are right now, it cannot be taken without some element of risk. Now, the risk is you could be wrong, number one. All right. And you're with your position or your rationale or your reasoning, you could be wrong. However, you could also be right. Now, if you're willing to take the risk that you could be wrong and be told off for doing so, that's good. From my viewpoint, I rather have an employee who speaks up and be told where he or she is wrong. Now, that's a growing employee. That's an employee who is on a learning curve.
Do you feel that managers and bosses are purposely keeping a distance from their team members, from their subordinates, because they're threatened by the team?
First, let me underscore one thing that's critically important. You've never had that security. That security is never yours to have. Ultimately, so let's assume that we're going to lean the company. Boss is a boss ultimately, and he or she is there to perfect you. You are not there to correct him. A toxic boss is someone that you will leave behind, meaning you will learn to navigate past him. Inevitably, human nature being what it is. Just as there are employees trying to hang on to their jobs, right, with the mistaken belief that security is more important. And then spending 5 or 10 years in the company going nowhere. They're stuck in the rut that they have themselves dug into, and they're unable to dig out of it because their idea of a job is being secure 9 to 5. Are you with me? Now, the same thing applies to bosses. There are bosses who tend to also do exactly the same thing. And many of them are stuck in their positions for a long time too. They are being passed over all the time. So the question would be, why are you being passed over? You're not being passed over because you lack intelligence or you lack skill sets or you lack talent. What you lack is inspiration to be innovative and to be able to stand out.
Would you say choosing your boss is more important than choosing a company?
Ultimately, both the boss and the company are there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to improve you. And that's really what it's all about, improving you, because at the end of the day, it's going to be your life.
Thank you for watching, everyone. That's all we have for part 1. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2 coming up very soon.